Have you ever wondered if time travel is just science fiction? Or maybe something more? What if you could go back to yesterday, change a decision, fix a mistake, or simply relive a moment you love? Is traveling back in time truly impossible? Or is it just extremely difficult according to the laws of physics? In this episode, we'll explore one of humanity's most fascinating questions. Is it possible to go back in time? We'll start by asking what time really is. Intuitively, we feel it flows in one direction, from the past, through the present, into the future. But classical and modern physics don't always agree with this intuition. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time and space together form what we call space-time. This means time isn't an independent entity. It can bend, stretch, and contract, just like space. Time depends on how fast you're moving and where you are in a gravitational field. The faster you move, the slower your time flows compared to others. This isn't fiction. It's been measured. Astronauts who spend months in orbit are technically fractions of a second younger than people who stayed on Earth. But is that enough to call it time travel? Not really. It's more like traveling into the future, extremely slowly and only in one direction. Traveling to the past is a completely different story, taking us into a realm that lies between advanced mathematics and imagination. Some physicists consider the concept of closed time-like curves, paths that, in theory, allow you to return to your starting point, not just in space but in time. It sounds like a fairy tale, but mathematically, it fits with general relativity. One idea is wormholes, shortcuts through space-time. If we could stabilize and use them, perhaps they'd allow time travel. But here's where the real problems begin. First, no one has ever observed such tunnels, and even if they exist, keeping them open would require exotic matter, a form of energy with negative density, which we've never detected in nature. Second, there's a whole set of paradoxes. Imagine you go back in time and prevent your parents from meeting. If they never met, you were never born. And if you were never born, who went back in time? This is the so-called grandfather paradox. And while it sounds amusing, it's a serious logical problem. Physics doesn't like such contradictions. Some try to solve it with the many worlds theory. Every decision creates a new reality. If you change the past, you don't alter your own timeline, but create a new one. But this idea, while popular in literature and film, remains purely speculative for now. Others argue that backward time travel is impossible, not because it breaks the laws of physics, but because it requires conditions that never occur naturally, or are so extreme that they can't be achieved or maintained. For example, black holes. According to some solutions of Einstein's equations, the inside of a black hole could contain a bridge leading somewhere else in space-time. But in practice, nothing and no one can leave a black hole once inside. Certainly not in one piece. What's more, even if time travel were physically possible, that doesn't mean it would be accessible to us. We might simply never have the technology. Just as sound doesn't travel in a vacuum, because there are no particles to carry it. Maybe time travel requires conditions we'll never be able to create or reach. But before we give up on the idea entirely, it's worth mentioning one more thing. Time isn't the only axis with direction. In the quantum world, at very small distances and times, things happen that classical physics can't explain. Particles can exist in multiple states at once, disappear and reappear. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that information can move backwards. Will we ever be able to use this? We don't know. Today, science has no certain, practical way to travel back in time. But that doesn't mean it's a silly question. On the contrary, it's a question that makes us think about the very foundations of reality, about time, space, and our role in it all. If you're interested in the frontiers of science and questions we don't yet have answers to, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Leave a like if you want more videos like this, and tell us in the comments, if you could go back in time, what would you change? Or maybe nothing at all.